Hey everybody, and welcome to Face with Violett. And we are finally into fall, and with that comes the fall makeup trends. And there are so many requests that we get for different looks, and people bring in pictures. And we have now launched our top 10 makeup trends for this fall season. And we have the top 10 natural bridal looks, and we have the top 10 evening bridal looks, and the top 10 dramatic bridal looks. And this look that I'm going to do for you guys today is one of the evening bridal looks, and this one has already been requested this year by several brides. And here's a picture of the look. So I'm going to recreate this look using all airbrush, and everything that we put on is going to be completely waterproof, and it's going to last for up to 4 days. So if you want to see how I recreate this look using full airbrush, just keep watching. So we're going to start out with the eyes. I've already done the foundation, and I've also done the airbrows. And to get started, we're just going to be creating the base for our smoky eye. So I'm going to start out with the color soft brown. I'm just going to put a couple drops of that in my cup. And I'm just going to apply that in the crease. And it's just going to be ever so subtle because we just want to have like a transition color there. And we're kind of just staying right in the crease, but not creating a really like dramatic line. So once we've got our soft transition, we're going to move on to the inner highlight. And as you can see from the picture, there's just a little bit of a lighter color on the inner corner, and makeup artists do that a lot to open up the eyes, having that light corner and having it get darker towards the the outside pulls your eye upward and opens everything up. So for the inner highlight, I'm going to use the color Wonderland, which is just a light kind of shimmery color. Really, you could do a gold or a like light shimmery color in the inner part. Typically, it ends up where the bridal dresses, if they do have embellishment, a lot of times it's silver. So most of the time I end up going with a silver highlight, but you can do gold if you know it's appropriate. So what I'm going to do is just start at the tear duct with this color, and I'm just going to place it on the lower lid and the tear duct area, and I'm staying below the crease. So next we're going to create another transition going outward. Because we want it to go from lighter to darker, like the picture, to create kind of that smokiness. So I'm going to use light bronze next, and it's just a shimmery bronze. So I'm just going to put this from the inner third, and it's going to go out almost to the end, but not at the accent there. And we're staying below the crease again. So I've still got some of that light bronze in my cup. I'm going to leave it in there because I am going to transition to a little bit darker color, but I don't want it to be really dark just yet. So I'm going to take some of the dark brown, and I'm going to mix it with some of that. So it's going to lighten the dark brown just a little. So I'm just putting one drop in there, and I'm mixing it up. And it's going to just kind of darken that light bronze a little. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it in the outer corner. And it's going to go in the outer corner and just a little on the outer upper lash line there. And in the picture, there's not too much color above the crease. That darker color is still just on the lid. So we're just kind of creating an outer V. So just the outer part of the eye is going to be a little dark. I'm going to do the eyeliner next. I'm just going to use the MAC Black Track Fluid Line. And I like this because it's easy to work with. It's going to be real black, and it's also going to be completely waterproof and pretty difficult to get off. I'm just going to use a tiny angled liner brush. So I'm going to start at the outside. I'm going to make it a little thicker there. And then it's going to get thinner as it comes in. So next we're going to curl the lashes. We're going to apply a waterproof mascara. So next I'm just going to take some of that Black Track Fluid Line because it's waterproof, and we're going to take just any kohl pencil and just dip it in there. And we're going to tight line the top lash line. And in the photo we've got, it's obviously tight line because the lash line looks really thick and black, and so that is a trick that's just being used to make it look a little fuller without like going too heavy on the eyeliner. So I'm going to start with the under eye concealer first. And let's see, for the under eye concealer I like to use an Airbrush concealer, and I'm just going to use the color Sand, and this is a Temptu silicone base, and I like these for an under eye concealer because they can be moved around a little bit before they dry. They don't dry on contact, and because of that you can get a nice even texture. If you sprayed it, their tendency automatically is to kind of squinch up their eye, and then you're going to get a bunch of like little lines. And the silicone base is also really, it's got kind of a brighter effect because it doesn't have a matte finish. So it's going to also brighten and conceal all at the same time. So you can put that on all the way up to the lash line, and I'm just pressing it in with the brush. And then I'm even going to take just a beauty blender and press it in. So for concealing, I'm just going to take my foundation and I'm just going to put just 4 drops of it in here. So we don't need a whole lot for concealing. And I'm going to turn my compressor way down. The airbrush is going to be very close to my skin, but it's going to be constantly moving. You don't want to stop or you're going to get a hot spot. And you're gently, just barely pulling back on the lever because you don't want to see the makeup hitting the skin. You want to just see that imperfection disappearing. So you're just kind of looking for a change in the skin. And then any spots that have just maybe a little bit of redness, you just get in really close and just move your gun around to cover those up. And this is what's going to give that totally flawless effect. You could cover even any moles if you wanted to. But unlike regular makeup, you can't see the makeup at all. It's not like regular concealer. So any discoloration you see in the skin, any blemishes, redness, especially as we get into winter, people tend to have like some redness around their nose, or maybe even broken capillaries around their nose from blowing their nose, colds and things like that. Then once you've done your spot concealing, we're just going to go and do a quick pass just to blend everything together and get that perfect coverage. For the lower lash line, I'm actually going to use some shadows. You could use airbrush, but it is going to blow air right into your client's eyes, and it's very uncomfortable, and they tend to squinch up, and then you're going to get wrinkles. But what I do is I'll use a shadow, and then we're going to waterproof everything at the end with a sealer anyways. So to achieve that smoked out look on the bottom, what you need to do is you need a few different size brushes. I'm going to use a flat shader brush, I'm going to be using a pencil brush, and I'm going to be using a smudge brush. And the variation in the size of the brushes is what's going to give you that smoked out look. So I'm going to use the Naked palette for this, and first I'm going to start out with the color Naked right here, and I'm going to put that on the tip of my shader brush, and I'm going to put that, I'm going to skip the inner corner here and start about 1/3, and I'm going to go all the way over to the outside. Then using that same brush, I'm going to go in with the color Buck. It's just a little bit darker of a matte brown. And I'm going to put that from the outer corner to about halfway. I'm going to use the color Smog, which is just a bronze color. And I'm going to switch to the pencil brush. And the pencil brush is just going to cover just a little bit of a smaller area. And I'm going to go right on the lash line. And we're going to bring this all the way in. Next I'm going to switch to that smudge brush, and I'm going to use the color Dark Horse, and this is going to be even smaller of a brush, so it's going to go right in the lashes. And we're going to drag that all the way in also. Next I'm going to take this color Sin right here. I'm going to pick some of that up on the tip of my smudger brush, and I'm going to put that just right on the inner corner and in the tear duct on the lower part of the lash line. The finishing touch to that is the bottom waterline is filled too. We're going to use the black tribe again for that, and we're going to use that kohl pencil as a tool again. And we're just going to put that in the waterline. Now the bottom line of the eye, if you look at it, there's a real definite contrast between the under eye area and that smokiness. So we're going to perfect that just a little bit here, but first I'm going to put on my mascara on the lower lashes. So here's what we're going to do. Pick a little bit of that concealer up on a concealer brush and just put it just underneath that line, just like that, just a little bit of it. Take a big fluffy tapered brush and start blending it back and forth. And it's going to, as you're slowly pushing it up, it's going to perfect that line and give you more of a contrast there. Next I'm just going to take some HD powder and put a little bit on my spray here. I'm going to pick out that same brush, that big fluffy blender brush, put a little bit of that powder on there, and then I'm going to put it underneath the eye just to make sure that you're basically forcing that silicone-based airbrush to set down. Next, I'm just going to take some of that black track on my angled liner brush, and I'm just going to put just a little bit on the tip of the brush and just smudge it right in the lashes on the outer corner, just about a third of the way in, and then just wipe off the brush, and I'm going to smudge that in the lashes, going not quite all the way in. And I'm just going to put on some lashes, and from the picture, they're not too small, they're not too big, they're just kind of in between, so that's what I'm going to do, is just put a pair on that are, you know, right in between natural and dramatic. So this is what they look like. These are, let's see, number 747S, and I'll put it in the description. And I'm just angling them downward and setting them on the lash line. So we're going to keep the lips really nude, just like the picture. And I am going to mix some colors to make a nude lipstick. And I'm going to mix a drop of the peach pink and a drop of the light mauve. So that'll give it a little bit of pink and some bronze color. And then to lighten it, to get it a little bit more nude, I'm going to mix in some of the natural beige, just a drop of that. Once we have that on, we're going to add some Moist and Dewy just to give it some of a glossy look. And that just really makes it look kind of like you're wearing a gloss over the lipstick. Now, to ensure that the look is going to stay and is completely waterproof, we're going to use the Airbrush waterproofing sealer. So I'm going to put that in the cup, put it all over the face. And then everything will be waterproof and it'll be sealed in, which will create a barrier. So that completes the look, and the whole thing would probably take about 30 to 35 minutes to recreate. And that includes all of the prepping the canvas and ensuring that the look lasts all day and all night and is completely waterproof. And I will be sure to put a list of all of the products I used on my blog and a link to my blog. I'm going to also put a link below to our top 10s. And if you see a look that you would like to see recreated using full airbrush, you can either put it in the comments of this video, or you can use the contact me below to send me an email request to see it. And if you want to book your full airbrush look, I will also put a link below to get a request, and you can contact me too if you have questions. And thanks so much for watching, guys, and may the wings of your eyeliner always be even.